Welcome online class. I welcome the students of Sayavati Society High School, Gachipur. And today I am going to discuss about graph. And before going to discuss graph, and you have to understand what do you mean by graph. And graph is a diagram or a structure where you may get different informations and you have to describe these informations within your own words. And for an example, let's go to board. And today I am going to discuss about subject English class 9 to 10 topic graph. And here, and you know that, and few minutes ago I have discussed and I have already talked about what is graph. And now you find that here is a diagram of graph, and you may find the question of graph as like as this way. The graph below shows about the choice of the professions by a different educated people on different fields. Now describe the chart within 150 words. And you will see, and there are some diagram for IT profession 5%, in business 10%, and you government job 65%, banking job 60%, and farming for only 5%. And this is the diagram. Now you have to describe this diagram with your own words, and you will find as like as this a diagram in your exam. And now you have to understand first and what does that diagram mean. And if you don't understand about the diagram, it is not possible, or it is not quite easy to write down or describe about this graph. And you have to read, and I am repeating again. The graph shows below about the choice of profession, and different people like different profession. And here this graph indicates about the choice of different people, profession by different educated people on different fields. Here you'll find IT field, business field, government job, banking, and farming. Now you have to describe this diagram with your own words and how you will start this job. Before writing this graph, and you have to write down this sentence. The graph you will not write down this word because this is question, and when you write down this question paper, and you have to omit this word below. The graph shows about the choice of professions by different educated people on different fields. And this line will be the first sentence in your answer paper. Now I am discussing about how you will write down this graph. Okay? You know that here if you indicate this from here, IT profession, only you see only 5% people like IT profession. From this graph you can write this from this graph only 5% people are educated people like IT profession. Only 5% people like IT profession. And you see that 10% people 10% people like farming. You see, this is the diagram and this is the percentage. Here you see the only 10% 10% people are fond of farming. Farming. Again you see 25%. 25% this is business. You see, this is the diagram and this is the percentage. Again, 25% people like banking job. And you see 60% people, 60% are here as the business, and 60% people like government job and government job. And you see, and now you have to do the compare. You see, from this graph, only 5% educated people like IT profession, 10% people are fond of farming, again 25% people like banking job, and 60% people like government job. Okay, now you have to compare. You see, the highest number of people, the highest number of people like the government job, and but the lowest number of people like IT job. You see, 25% people like banking job, which is lower than the government job. You can compare each of the profession than another. You see, here people like government job more than the other jobs. You see, here most of the people like government job because they may get different facilities from the government. So most of the educated people like government job. But now the farming job is not much more fond of for the educated people. But nowadays there are many educated people, educated person are entering into the farming job or IT profession are different. But here you have to understand. You have to understand what kinds of word or what kinds of phrases you will present to write down this graph. And here I have discussed this graph for an example, and you may find different kinds of graphs and chart in your textbook also. And I hope and believe that you will take help to write down such kind of graph from your books, and you will follow this online class. And I have already discussed in previous about the graph and chart, and today I hope and believe that my students will be able to understand about the graph and how you have to present the graph on your exam paper. And before leaving today online class, I welcome my students about through an advice. You know, to take drug is dangerous for your family, for yourself, for your society, and entire country and the world. So don't take any drug and don't allow any drug, and the person who are drug addicted, you have to avoid this. Thank you very much.